Hey guys, so after my last Sylvanas video, I used a lot of other people's clips, and it was right after she came out, so we didn't really see what she was capable of. And looking at her win rate being 40%, I was like, okay, maybe they just need to buff her. Then I started watching one of my friends who was playing Sylvanas, and he's sitting with like a 70% win rate with Sylvanas, with the new rework and everything, and I'm like, what is he doing differently? So I watched his build, I watched his playstyle, and then I played it yesterday. I played like 5 or 6 games of Sylvanas doing it, and I was dominating with this build. So I want to talk a little bit about the build, and then I want to show you some clips. I don't know if I'm going to edit the clips individually into it, or if I am going to make it... I'm not sure exactly how I want to do it yet. However, I do want to show you guys the build first, and I want to explain a little bit about what this is. Let me get off of locked for a second. Okay, so the build is all based off of your W, and it's based off of getting your W to be as powerful as possible every time you use it, while getting to where you can also decrease the enemy's armor. And so this build has really good burst damage, burst single target damage, as well as this build also has a surprising amount of AoE damage, meaning that you're kind of this bursty yet also sustained AoE slash single target assassin. Your downsides are that you're very close to the fight, you don't have a lot of escapes because you're using them for extra damage, as well as it might not be as high as like a Kael'thas that could be on your team. However, you do have some things that Kael'thas doesn't, like you can do camps much earlier than they can do them. So there's a lot of pros and cons about this. So let me talk a little bit about this build and how it works. So to start off, your W at level 16 does 54 damage plus 272 damage, which is essentially, what is that, 326 damage. So you do 326 damage. That's about 12% of a Sylvanas' health. Then, if you have 3 stacks of your trait, that does 25% more damage. So let's say I auto attack 3 times and I toss a W out. Now that damage is increased by 25%. So what was originally 12% of someone's health is increased by 25%, is now closer to 15% of someone's health. Then you increase it by more by using your unfurling shadows, which can usually get up to about 50 to 100% more damage. Let's go in the middle, 75%. So you're doing 75% more damage from this. You're doing 25% more damage to this. Those work multiplicatively alongside the 20% more damage of your Cold Embrace, which also works that way. All of these combined make it to where your W can do a stupid amount of damage in a short amount of time. The amount of damage gets pretty crazy. So let's go through and pick this talent. Level 4 depends on the map you're on, but I really like Merc Queen in Possession over the Unstable Poison because you can already deal with waves. So I like to pick either one of these. Let's pick Merc Queen for the sake of it. Lost Souls is kind of the bait talent. Everyone thinks that if they're going W build, they need to go Lost Souls. That is not the talent. Festering Wounds gives you 3 stacks of Banshee's Curse, which increases the damage everything you do does by 25%. So you need Festering Wounds. It's a must. You have to have it. And it also does 25% more damage to the enemies. So you apply this Banshee's Curse and do 25% more damage with your Haunted Wave. When you get that, now we're going to pick up Wailing Arrow, but you don't need to pick up Wailing Arrow. I like both of these ults. They have different purposes. Wailing Arrow is if you need that burst on a couple targets. Mind Control is if you need to pull one target away from a fight. Or if you don't have really good engages on your team, this forces an engage. But Wailing Arrow is what we're going to be picking up. Level 13, you need to lower the armor. And level 16, because you're using your escape offensively, Will of the Forsaken gives you an escape. So let's talk about this build really quick. The first major piece you need to know is in the early game, you need to auto attack to get 3 stacks of your trait, and then you need to use your W to get your 5 to 6 stacks of your thing. When you get to level 7, it gets a lot easier because you can throw your E and your W at the same time, and you can immediately get all of the stacks very quickly without ever needing to get that close into the fights. And this also can spread it if your timing's really good. You can throw them in either area. Your W always flies faster, so whether you do your E first or your W first, it doesn't really matter if you can do it in quick succession, because then, again, you can stack on multiple targets very quickly. So I'm going to toggle cooldowns a bit, and I'm going to get up to the damage that you're going to normally see by level 16. And once we get up to there, if I do complete cooldowns, it doesn't go as fast, or it goes too fast. So I'm just going to get up to there. And because it goes in halves, I'm going all the way up to maybe just even 50%. Let's just go a little bit above 50%. So now that we're above 50%, I want to show you guys what's possible at level 16 for the bursts. Notice that Sylvanas is 2,905 health. That's about what most assassins have. This is what this build will look like on a single target. 3,177 health in under 2.5 seconds. In under 2.5 seconds. Isn't that insane? How much damage is possible? And you also need to remember that this and this are, all three of these are AoE damage. Meaning that you're firing this off, you're firing this off, you're firing this off, that could hit their entire team, doing that much damage to their entire team. So you could blow up an entire team. But not just that, she has pretty high sustained damage, because let's say, for instance, I don't toggle cooldowns. Let's look how this normally goes in a team fight. You throw this out, you throw this out, you're hitting them, you're hitting them, you're hitting them, and your cooldowns aren't very long. I mean, you're going to have your Q back up in a couple seconds, so the fight's still going. You fire off another Q, and then you do your combo again, and there you go. So your DPS, your sustained DPS is something like 400 to 500 DPS, but your possible burst is like 10,000 damage, or I mean it's 3,000 on a single target. It's crazy. And you're reducing the enemy's armor, making it to where if your team's also attacking the targets you're attacking, you kill their entire team. I had a couple team fights that I'm going to show you guys as we get into those, and I just really wanted to show you the power of this Sylvanas and the things that you can do with it. So, with that being said, let's get into the games and show a little bit about how you can play Sylvanas. So the first one that I want to show you is just a quick game that shows you the power of the Merc Queen on Volskaya. And we'll get into that power as we get into this game. So I'm going to fast forward to the first objective. So the first thing that you need to know about Merc Queen is that I get all of the camps for my team. So, for example, as we reach the level about 2 to 3, you're going to see me, and I go and I solo this camp. I don't need my team's help. I do take a decent chunk of damage, and then as we start reaching the 230 mark, I go and I solo this camp as well. So not only have I gotten a camp for my team, but I've also applied pressure in the off lane. So now they're missing both of these things. As we reach the beginning of this objective, I'm going to slow down just a little bit so you can see the power of this Merc Queen plus just the build that I'm going in general. So right off the bat, I want to show you. So we have a Muradin who's missing about 10%, Brightwing who's missing about 10%, and the rest of their team's pretty much full health. Now watch how much I do with just myself and the turret. Now we have one attack that hit from another person, and it was just a single attack from the Alexstrasza. I did half of a Brightwing's health. I did half of a Muradin's health. I did 10% of a Jaina's health. And that's all by myself with a single turret, buffing it up by 60% with Merc Queen, as well as doing my extra damage from just playing Sylvanas. All of this damage forces them to focus heavily on the turret as we almost kill one person on their team by myself. So that's what I really wanted to share with you on that particular game, is the power of Merc Queen when they are forced to fight within a Merc. The next game I want to show you guys is Alterac Pass for a couple specific fights as we're going through. So I'm going to do my best to fast forward through a lot of the more boring fights. But you're going to see as we get to level 13 how much damage I start doing to people. So let's fast forward a little bit. It's going to be quite laggy as I'm doing an 8 times fast forward. And we might even go up here just so it's not loading any of this extra stuff. And the other thing I really want to share this game is watch how many camps I get. That's the thing that's really cool about this build, is not only am I doing a lot of damage, I'm also getting camps safely for my team very quickly. I'm also going through and pushing and turning off structures whenever we win objectives. So we win an objective, I turn off structures. So it's not just the fact that she's good at damage, but she also brings a lot more to the game. But if you see, I died there. Her range is very low, and you have to use your escape to do more damage. So it's a high-risk gameplay. Someone jumps on you, you have to use a lot of abilities to make sure that you get out. but your sustained damage is pretty good. You can see the damage over time is pretty much applied to everyone at all times, and I'm just melting people down. So that's really what you're going to be seeing a lot of from the Sylvanas. And I'm not the best Sylvanas player, so you're going to see that there's some areas that I'm not being as efficient as you could be because I haven't played her that much. This was just after 4 or 5 games of playing her, after they made the rework, and I just see her with this really low win rate, and I'm going, man, are people just playing her wrong, or is she really undertuned? And if she's undertuned, I don't want to see what she's going to look like when she's overtuned. She may not be that strong right now, but there are areas that she's really, really powerful at, and that's what I'm worried about, is that if they do buff her, she's going to be really, really strong. And so we'll have to see how that goes. So again, I turned off structures whenever we pushed in. I'm actually going to fast forward just a little bit. I just wanted to show you again, like, look how much damage I did to her as she walked up to this lane. She didn't even realize what was going on. So I will click on the Sylvanas now so you can see the stacks. So I'm already at 48.5%. So when I said you can get up to the 75% before level 16, I wasn't kidding. And we didn't even get that in the try mode before I started showing everything. So that's kind of why I wanted to show you guys that I'm not overestimating any of these stacks. It's very, very possible to get all of these stacks. Once again, very easy to get these camps. Like, I can even slow this down and just watch how fast this camp goes. I keep everything marked. And we do have the help from the Kael'thas, of course, but I don't take very much damage. I take out the camp very quickly, and it's getting buffed because I have Merc Queen. Now, I don't really push with it. If it was a side lane, I might push with it, but because it's a middle lane, I don't really want to push with it very much. I will stay near it as we're fighting the other camp, because as we're fighting the other camp, we want our camp to be doing AoE damage, that bonus 60% AoE damage, so we can kill the other camp faster. So we're going to fast forward a little bit. Might even fast forward a little bit more. Because as this fight goes on, you can just see we're just doing a lot of crit damage to everyone, but we don't want to worry about too much. We lost to Lucio, so they'll probably get a decent chunk of this objective. Level 13 is when I get the armor reduction. Now, I did want to show you guys this actual this fight down here, because I just picked up like my armor reduction, and I wanted to show you what it can do. Okay. I don't even actually know if I get it by the time we fight this variant. Let's see. So the Kael'thas comes down here to push. Says wait for level 13. And the variant goes right on him. Look how much damage that variant does. A lot. Now watch this. So I think it might be bugged. I'm pretty sure I already picked up the talent because I rewound, so it's kind of acting weird. But watch this guy's health. He's at 80% health, right? I do the combo. Look at that burst. 50% of his health right there when I do the combo. All this bonus damage that I'm doing, the Q, the auto attack, he's dead. That's without even using an ult. 80% of a variant's health in seconds. So that's the first thing that I kind of wanted to show you. And I do the same thing to this Joanna. She's getting healed a lot by the Tyrande, and it's still not enough. We're just blowing her up. Ult 2 of them, get that silence out, all that extra damage, almost kill her. Oh, I do kill her with the damage over time. And so that Joanna, almost all of the damage to that Joanna was just me. We're going to fast forward and get up to level 16. And I just want to show you guys, I showed this combo, and a lot of times when people show the combos of what a character is capable of, they're combos that are hard to pull off. Like, everyone was showing the Orphea combos as Orphea was coming out, and then it was really rare that people would get in the situation where a full Orphea combo would go off on a single target without them being CC'd long enough that they would have died anyways. I want to show you guys that this combo on Sylvanas is not only possible, but I don't need any follow-up from a team to make it possible, which means that it's a more reliable combo than most of the other things. So I already am more stacked than I was in the tri-mode video, or in the tri-mode piece of this. So because I'm more stacked in the tri-mode, I want to show you what's capable with burst. So while I did 3,100 damage before, I'm going to do more than 3,100 damage here because I'm way more stacked than I was before. I'm almost at the 75%, which is the goal you should be trying to hit by level 61, or 16, I mean. 61, 16. So again, I get another camp. We're fast forwarding even further. Alright, we're still fast forwarding. Because there's another objective down here. We struggle winning on the objectives because when you're going against a Ragnaros can just press trait or press his ult to deal with those. But I just want to show you, oftentimes in these games, the fights that win the game are usually like the last fight of the game. So while we push pretty good, I am like turning off structures as we're pushing. I'm getting the majority of the structures, and I'm doing a lot for my team. This is the next objective, and this is the one that has the good team fight. So we are going to fast forward just a little bit. So the next objective's showing up, and it's a level 20 fight. Remember that most of these fights come down to these level 20 fights. And a lot of times, like, because the death timers are so long, if this fight happens, it's going to be game ending. So we take a fight over here, and it's kind of just a weird fight in general. We're just getting some damage off. We decide to leave. Focus on the objective. I corral it, taking a little bit too much damage, but I get healed up from the Lucio. The enemies decide to leave from that direction and come in through this. Now, this is always a problem area, because if you walk through this area, you can't turn back around, because then you get really slow. So you have to fully commit to either going in or fully commit to going out. You can't change your mind when you get in here. When I realized that we're fighting on this area and we can have our tanks come back down if we want to, then I noticed that it's my time to take this fight. So watch everyone for a second. So I do the first set of combos onto this Joanna. The combo is also going to spread over to the Varian, who's almost at full health. 90%, maybe even 95%. I've already lowered his armor by 10% because you can see the spread is currently already going over to him. He's going to get hit by my E and get the bonus damage from the E as well. While he has the armor reduction, I'm going to fire off the Wailing Arrow. The full 520 damage is going to hit him. He's going to take 10% more damage because of the armor reduction that's already on him, as well as he's going to take the extra damage from the Banshee Curse because I'm going to have the 3 stacks of Banshee Curse, increasing the damage of 25% more, making the 25% more that he's initially getting is going to be like 125, right? He's going to have 125 more damage plus the extra 10% that's already on him, which is going to be like, what is it, 670 or 600 and... It'll be 645 plus that extra 10%. So it's going to add up very quickly. And watch this Varian's health really quick. Look at his health. Did you see what happened to his health? Where did Varian go? Varian's gone. I threw my safe abilities over here. And then I immediately threw all the rest of my abilities while he still had the armor reduction. It was as simple as that. Now I changed my focus onto, and this is with all of my abilities down. I just did that much health to Ragnaros without having a single ability up. So even with that, I still do a lot of damage. And then the Ragnaros also, there's the damage over time for my combo. And Ragnaros is also dead. And now Joanna is also dead. So I killed the Varian instantly. I then killed the Ragnaros. I killed the Joanna. And now I kill the Tyrande as well. That's the combo, guys. This is the Sylvanas you should be playing right now. Now, I know there's other builds. Like, for example, I've been seeing another another Grandmaster player who's been running this build against high health tanks like Diablo. My problem is, like, if you're getting in the range of a Diablo to auto attack him, he's going to be able to get in range to kill you with a slam. So when you get the Remorseless and you get the extra range, it's possible that you can do something there, but I almost wonder if it's just better to stick with this build, and you can do a lot safer damage to their entire team. And then you do see I picked up Will of the Forsaken and Bolt of the Storm as escapes. If Varian's going to jump on me, I want to make sure that I can get out because I'm using my E for damage, not for escape. That's the Sylvanas build, guys. That's it. So it's very simple. I mean, you can pretty much blow up their entire team very easily, and you can deal with camps very quickly by yourself. Again, you can see that this camp, I'm only taking damage from one of them as I'm alternating between the other two. And we were just kind of waiting here, and there we go. So picked up that camp. You can get camps a lot faster than she used to. I mean, it's still slower than someone like a Jaina, but it's still fast enough to be reasonable. I mean, these camps usually take a long time to take, so being able to take it in just 20 seconds is not bad. And then there we go. We just we turn off a structure down here to remove some armor. I can turn it off in a second. I don't like using my combo too much on structures, but sometimes when you need to destroy a structure fast, you just need to go for it. I do a combo there. Look at that damage right there. I did the combo. I threw the W, the E, and look, it spread to everything, killing all of the minions that they had, doing half of a Ragnaros's health, doing 25% of a Joanna's health, all of that in 2 abilities. 2 abilities was all it took to do that much damage. So again, I do my combo, and it spreads, and it just takes out that person, and it finishes off the objective, or the core. So that is the new Sylvanas. I highly recommend everyone play it, try it out, but understand that she's very risky right now. All of her ranges are very low, and while her damage is good and the possible burst that you can do is really good, she has relatively long cooldowns. I mean, your entire combo puts everything on like these 10-second cooldowns, 11 seconds and 11 seconds. So you will be having everything on pretty long cooldowns. So you will want to kind of understand that you're throwing all of your abilities out and you can't really do much other than auto attack. So she's risky. That's why I highly recommend you pick up the talent at 16 that gives you the movement speed and unstoppable. A lot of people think, oh, you got to get the heal, the 15% heal. The problem is that she's not dying from poke damage. She's dying from burst damage and CC that's stun locking her. So that's why I'm using that and that. Now, I don't think you need Bolt of the Storm. You can go with the bonus damage and just burst whoever you want to, as her burst combo is huge. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys, this is the build that I saw someone running it with a 70% win rate in Hero League, and this is the build that I've been playing around with, and it's a lot of fun to play. Feel free to try it out. Let me know if you like it, and you can also mention any other builds you're playing. And then I want to know, what's the highest you guys have gotten your Unfurling Shadows in a single game? I believe this probably is my highest at 194. That's 97% bonus damage on my W, and we saw how devastating it was when it did end up working. So feel free to toss that down there. I'm curious to see what you guys say. Thank you for watching, and feel free to check out all my other videos.